caught in another dimension, a design dimension, where time stands still and style has been forgotten. This is my parents' house.
Hi, I'm Christina.
Hi, I'm Larissa.
This is Mariska.
And this is Vladimir. And we need your help.
We live in Ukrainian.
Our couch is brown velvet and is 30 years old. Our cream shag carpeting is now brown and flat.
We have Ukrainian pillows, Easter eggs, everything under the sun. You've got to see this place.
Come on in.
Take a dining room that's not used for dining, a large sunken living room that has beautiful features, but dated furniture. Line both rooms with 30-year-old carpet that's showing more than its age. Then overload the room with a plethora of pisanki, a bunch of bulavas, a few banduras, loads of vishitya, and everything and anything else Ukrainian. What you're left with is a worn-out space that's trying a little too hard to reflect this culturally aware family.
Meet Oleh, Christina, and Larissa. They're the Waler family. For the last 2.5 decades, the Waler family has called this large suburban bungalow home. Over the years, the single father's dedication to his 3 children has only been matched by his dedication to collecting heritage pieces.
Feeling it was finally time for their dad's crazy Ukrainian room to be modernized, daughters Larissa and Christina called us in.
Right here. See?
I know.
It's Ukraine overkill in here. There's just too much of it.
It's old, it's tacky, it's expired.
It's got really good bones, the ceilings, the windows.
Great ceiling.
Yeah, we got our work cut out for us.
Yeah.
I think we need your help.
This room had a lot of problems, but it also had a lot of potential.
It's an aesthetically pleasant area. It's a sunken living room with a stepped-up dining room, but it's a wide open space and it's airy.
The fireplace is gorgeous. Yeah, it's Italian marble.
It's a very attractive centerpiece.
Curtains are horrible. They're horrible. Looks like a bride's veil hanging over the walls.
And the carpet.
I think of it as almost an alien life form. Every now and then it sprouts out different colors of many life forms. So
This is wicked. And we've got a bulava. That's pretty good. And some pisanki. You know, you need pisanki. And then a hutzel. And what's this? Oh, it's Volodymyr Veliki too. These are just great, you know?
Andrika?
Yeah.
How do you know what all this stuff is?
Oh, what gave it away? I'm a uke.
It's a dining room slash office slash storage space. All in one.
Ooh, look at that.
Yeah,
And there's, wow, it's carved with photos and everything.
I'm not a big fan of the chandelier. My father loves the chandelier.
I guess my kids would think it's excessively gaudy.
My dad hoards Easter eggs.
We have the regular Easter eggs,
they're called pisanki.
Pisanki?
Yeah, they are.
the goose eggs.
We need to make some scrambled eggs.
Here.
The dolls are a little creepy.
Yeah,
But
they're a little creepy.
See, my grandma made them.
Both quite headstrong when it comes to projects of this sort.
I'm really sensitive. Christina's really cold-hearted.
Excuse me.
Character revelations aside, what did these girls want for their dad's room?
I think I'd like to see a lot of the Ukrainian stuff relocated.
Relocated.
I would really like to see a design in it.
I think their heart is in the right place.
The Waller's Ukrainian theme certainly wasn't lacking subtlety. Beyond that, architecturally, this room had a lot of promising features.
For once, I love the
Yeah,
fireplace.
it's beautiful. We don't have to touch it. The carpet has seen better days, no question. What about the chandelier?
It just doesn't fit. We've got the steps obviously to deal with. We have to figure out a way to deal with that.
Podushka.
Paul Dushka? Mm-hmm. Paul Dushka. Who's Paul Dushka?
It can't get any worse, right?
So we've got the Carpathian kind of mountain people, Western Ukraine influence. We have a natural fireplace. We have wooden beams, vaulted ceilings, natural colors, reds, browns, oranges, cultural woodsy chic.
Cultural woodsy chic.
Now say it 3 times fast.
Cultural woodsy chic, cultural woodsy chic, cultural woodsy. What does that mean now?
Coming up on My Parents' House.
I'm more excited. I think Larissa's more nervous.
Because I'm a control freak.
Higher, straighter, get that mama! The Walers were proud of their ancestral roots, so much so that there wasn't a corner of their sunken living room or dining room that didn't reflect their Ukrainian heritage.
Feeling that it was finally time that this dated display room was modernized, daughters Larissa and Christina asked for help. Sending Dad away for a relaxing weekend, we decided to explore a culturally inspired theme, which we were now ready to present to the siblings.
We were inspired by one particular region in Ukraine, which is the Hutzul region. And it has these great earthy colors, the browns and the reds and the oranges. And we think that will work really nicely in this space. Okay. So let's show you what we're planning on doing.
All right, here we go. Huh?
Oh, orange.
Orange is the first thing you see. Wow. It's a Hutzul color.
It's bright.
Well, we have this beautiful marble fireplace. Again, a natural stone.
You want to keep the fireplace just the way it is, and we're going to frame it with these beautiful orange walls. And that orange is going to help pull out the color from the fireplace.
How bright will that be?
Oh, well, you know, it's not overly bright. It's going to be obviously orange, but don't worry, it's going to be beautiful in all its flavors. It's gorgeous.
We have 2 spaces, obviously, a dining room and a living room area. Now we have this large sectional in there right now, which is a great way to utilize space. So we'd like to do somewhat of the same thing and bring in another sectional sofa.
So a new modern sectional with a chaise lounge, you know, a little more updated.
Add new shelving, some exposed wood shelving, which will bring back that mountain flair, the natural tones, where you could put some of your dad's cultural pieces.
Or extend some of that wood, actually, because you've got a step stepping into the living room, you have a step stepping into the dining room. So we're going to take those old steps out, we're going to put a nice new rustic step all the way across the entire room.
So it's an extended step.
We're going to get rid of your dad's glass chandelier.
Okay.
Don't you guys like it? No. Why don't we look at some of those things that's actually going to go into the space? And here we go. So you talked about orange, and yes, there is orange going in the room, and you can see it's not a very bright orange. It's going to be more of a muted tone. It's going to be a much richer, darker color when it's all finished.
We have a dark brown accent wall that'll be going in the dining room. And also to keep it light and airy, we'll paint the rest of it in a cream color. Okay?
The floor, as you can see, it's dark. It's a dark wood. It's called Marabou. It's a laminate floor.
And what about the window dressings?
And the window dressings, of course, the shears, those are going to go. Replace them with nice new window dressings.
Now we have pisankas, Ukrainian Easter eggs, on the board because we found so many of them in the room, and we think it would be a great way to bring some of that culture back into the room and put it on display because it's very important to the family.
Other things are going to change in the space. Obviously, we talked about that chandelier getting changed, and this is it. And you can see there's little feathers going around it.
Very modern.
Very, very cool.
You can see in these photos that we have modern pieces coming in, but we're still going to honor the cultural aspects of the room.
What about the birch?
So we're going to do some things with some birch logs and birch wood, but we'll keep you guys
Posted
on that.
A little bit concerned about the orange.
I'm really concerned about the orange too.
Yeah.
And I'm concerned about the birch.
Oh, birch too. Okay.
That's 2.
Right.
And we're concerned about the chandelier.
Well, change is difficult, but once you get going, change is so much more fun. And speaking of getting going,
We should get going.
Let's go.
All right. Anything you can't pronounce, get it out of the room.
I don't think people painted rooms orange. The birch wood seems a little bit strange. I'm picturing a cabin in Montana with lumberjacks.
After clearing the room, we were ready to turn our attention to the room's least attractive feature.
I'm not going to miss that carpeting at all.
With a little help, we had the large room stripped back to the basics, and despite the girls' unease, we pushed ahead with our Hutzul-flavored color scheme.
It looks like squash soup.
I was hoping for a light color on the walls. I got a couple walls that are light. However, there's also a dark brown one. And again, the orange is there. It's on the wall. Orange.
Laying down our paintbrushes, we passed the room to the installers who'd arrived with the flooring.
While the new laminate floor went down, Larissa and I were considering Dad's eggs. Egg shelf time.
Okay.
We have 2 very long shelves going on either side of the fireplace that we're gonna have all of Dad's pisanke, all of his decorative eggs displayed on.
Like this.
Exactly. But what we're gonna need to hold them there is to inset a hole so that they'll sit in something. It's like an egg holder.
How can you cut a hole?
Well, you ask all the right questions.
But I love them because they bespeak a heritage. It's not just a cultural heritage, it's a spiritual heritage.
That's perfect. It's like it was made for it.
The egg shelf was grade A, and so was the flooring. But the floors were the furthest thing from Dad's mind.
We call our father Tato, and
That's Ukrainian for dad.
that's Ukrainian for dad, yes. And he is one of the most hardworking men I have ever met in my life.
Just what the doctor ordered.
Coming up on My Parents' House.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the newest Little Hutzel.
Over the last quarter of a century, the Walers' living room and dining room has become a worn-out showroom for Ukrainian culture. But once daughters Larissa and Christina called us in, it didn't take long before the room was completely cleared of its familiar artifacts.
While Dad stepped out for much-needed rest, we had decided on a design plan that would incorporate Dad's obvious passion for his homeland. We painted the walls using a traditional Hutzel color palette, and the old shag carpet was ripped out and replaced with a dark laminate floor. The room was far from finished, though, and pushing ahead with our woodsy chic direction, the guys were cutting rough lumber for the new shelves.
We wasted no time getting the shelf installed, and since we seemed to be hitting a stride, Andrika figured we wouldn't mind installing her egg shelf too.
Nice job, gentlemen. All right, so we'll get that shelf in, we'll get the opposite 2 shelves in, and this room is on its way. Wanting to learn more about Ukrainian culture, Emmanuel was at our next project right on time.
Well, I am ready for my Ukrainian egg-making lesson.
Here are all the tools we need to make pisanke. This is your drawing tool, which is called a kistka.
Okay.
You need beeswax and a candle.
Okay, we have all those.
Die.
And dye for the eggs. So this is the step process.
Okay.
You're going to scoop in the wax. Use a lit candle to melt the wax inside of the bone. You have then a drawing tool where...
It's like a fountain pen.
Yeah.
Except instead of ink, it's wax.
Exactly. Everything that I'm drawing right now on this white egg will stay white once we've put it into the dye.
Now, just because I'm Ukrainian doesn't mean I'm good at making pisankas.
I know what you're saying because it's not the easiest thing in the
It's
world
really not.
to do, which makes it all the more fun to make it a competition.
The egg competition is it's pretty intense, actually. I'd like to think that I'm in the lead.
I've never been really artistic. My sister's more artistic, and Andrika's eggs are phenomenal.
I feel bad for Emmanuel because truly you had 3 pros and a beginner.
I think I might take this one home.
Je net думаю, що він виграє.
No.
That's right, exactly. I'm gonna take this one home.
напевно не виграє.
So you guys are scared. You guys are really scared.
Він
Is it?
нічого не виграє.
Yeah, you guys are scared. You're talking about how you're really scared, right?
The girls and I were feeling pretty confident about our eggs, but so was Emmanuel.
Meanwhile, as Dad experienced age-defying therapy, Larissa and Andrika worked to preserve something else.
Your grandmother, Baba, made all of these pillows, which are beautiful, and they're very painstaking. It takes a long time, and made with love. So, of course, I understand why you'd want to have them out on display, but I think there's a better way to do it. Separating the pillows from the pillowcases, we were able to frame Baba's ornate designs.
Baba's pretty much devoted herself to taking care of my dad and us.
Clearly, every one of those cushions is a labor of love.
Not only puts the pillow on display, but also preserves it.
It's gorgeous.
Okay. Meanwhile, Emmanuel the woodsman was off in search of materials.
I don't know what they're going to be doing with the birch wood, but I just feel like birch wood in that room isn't going to work.
We're gonna make a coffee table for your dad. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take groupings of white birch and use it for the legs on all 4 corners of a glass coffee table.
I think it could work.
You think so? You sure?
It could.
You positive?
I'm not positive.
You're not? Okay.
While Christina and I continued to work on the birch, our carpenter prepared more rough lumber for the next step.
Good.
because of Emmanuel's good spirits throughout this whole thing, we thought we'd name him an honorary Ukrainian.
Which is like Ukrainian plus Asian mixed together.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you the newest Little Hutzel.
Once in a while, something comes out of that man that I didn't expect.
I'm excited and nervous about the chandelier. That's the one piece in the room that I'm still really iffy about.
What do you think about feathers now?
I love them.
I think they're great.
It looks fantastic.
You know what the chandelier needs?
A table? A table.
A table.
Let's get going.
A table wasn't the only thing this room needed.
Coming up on My Parents' House.
When my dad comes home, if he likes the room, then we'll see a thumbs up.
After a lifetime of collecting Ukrainian heritage pieces, after 3 decades of accidents on the carpet, after 12 years of lavender-cushioned wicker furniture, in just 2 days, we had completely revitalized Oleh Waler's living and dining room.
Now, with just a few touches left, we were nearly out of the woods.
Everything looks so great. So I'm really happy, really tired, but really happy.
Well, what do you guys think?
I love it. I had my doubts with the orange, but you know what? It really came through. It looks great.
Oh yeah, and the chandelier?
Chandelier is fun and it's beautiful and it fits and I love spectacular.
And what about the birch?
I have to admit, I was quite apprehensive about the birch, but it really turned out. I'm really impressed with your skills.
So we're 3 for 3. Very good.
And we have
We have a surprise for you to thank you in a Ukrainian way.
No.
We made you eggs. It says, thank you, Emmanuel.
And this one says, Дякую, Andrika, which means thank you, Andrika in Ukrainian.
It's awesome. I got an egg.
Beautiful. Speaking of eggs, we never judged these guys.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it matters anymore because
No,
these are
because these
definitely
girls totally
the best.
win. Guys,
Time to get ready.
Yeah,
let's go.
I got an egg. Woo!
We took this cluttered and dated living room and dining area overrun with cultural kitsch and completely transformed it.
We really wanted to do something for him that showed him how much we appreciate everything that he does for us and all the time he puts into us.
At last, it was time for Larissa and Christina to reveal the new room to their dad.
3.
What do you think?
Oh,
You like
this is fantastic. Oh, this is too beautiful for words. Thank you.
To modernize the Waler's space, we started by decluttering the room, removing all the furniture and cultural pieces. Deriving our color scheme from the traditional colors of the Ukrainian Hutzel region, we painted 2 walls in an airy beige. We used a contrasting chocolate brown for the accent wall in the dining room. And to make the gorgeous fireplace stand out, we chose a muted orange to go on either side. A color the girls were nervous their dad wouldn't like.
Of course, you know that the orange is our color.
We removed the stained 30-year-old shag carpet and replaced it with a rich, stain-resistant laminate floor.
The floor is stunning. The floor is breathtaking.
See the new step goes all the way around?
Yes, I see that. That's beautiful.
To increase flow and add a woodsy flair, we installed an extended rough timber step.
It just flows together so beautifully. It harmonizes wonderfully.
Our carpenters also built practical display shelves on either side of the fireplace, including the shelves specifically designed to display Dad's beautiful pisanki.
Before it was what I would call, bordering on Ukrainian kitchen, Ukrainian schlock. It's now a very classy Ukrainian.
The 1970s brown velvet couch was replaced with a modern sectional sofa, which included a chaise lounge for relaxing nights in front of the fire.
Dredged up from under the mess of paperwork, Dad's beautiful dining room set was reclaimed to create an elegant dining room area.
This is no longer my makeshift office anymore. So.
We replaced Dad's favorite Italian glass chandelier with a feather-tipped fixture. Despite their initial unease, the girls had taken a liking to it. But what would Dad think?
It has a very ethereal, gossamer look to it. It's just stunning. It's breathtaking.
Some of Baba's ornate hand-embroidered cushions were also worked back into the design, given a place of prominence in frames on the focal wall.
See that Baba's pillows are
Yeah, so they're framed forever. Overwhelming. Preserving all the things that matter to us, and at the same time giving it a different pizzazz and a different flair.
In front of the new couch was an Emmanuel original.
It's very elegant, and at the same time it has kind of a homey, woodsy look to it.
There were still a few smaller additions for Dad to see.
Yeah.
Portato from Emmanuel.
Although Dad's reaction was positive across the board, we still hadn't heard from this family's hardest critic.
Baba is hard to please and doesn't like change.
No, Baba?
We got lots of thumbs up.
Even Baba's thumbs up, which is really impressive when you get one from Baba.
Chudova. It just means fantastic.
We took this worn-out living space that was overloaded with Ukrainian pieces and revamped it, creating a contemporary but comfortable area that tastefully retains this family's cherished heritage.
There's an old Ukrainian expression. When you have guests in the home, it's like God's coming into your home. And I'm very, very grateful.
Okay, bye-bye. Thank you. So much fun. Thank you.
Bye!
Wow. Whew. You like the place?
Yeah, job well done.
Yeah, look what I gotta keep. My Hutzel vest. This egg wasn't so bad after all, huh? Alrighty. You gonna pull me?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull you.
Ah!